Kamara Drive-In. It's a coach. You're tuned in to Madden IT on EA Sports. Coming up.
And they'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. No gain on the play there, second down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
On second down, Kamara. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Ready? You ready?
From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. That's complete to Meredith. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Ready? You waiting? Ready?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the 1st half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. Leading the charge under center will be their 6'5" quarterback, Carson Wentz.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. And here are the starters for Philadelphia.
An electric force out of the backfield is Jay Ajayi, who made the most out of his midseason exit from Miami and acquisition by the Philadelphia Eagles. The leading rusher in the playoffs for the Eagles helped power them to a Super Bowl with his ability to see holes where people don't think they exist and turn them into long runs.
They run with Ajayi. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
This is Ajayi. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Here's Ajayi. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. A look now at the defensive starters for the Saints. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
Play action. Now Wentz. He's going to float this. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Ken Crawley. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the...
Now Breeze lost the football, and the Eagles have recovered. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't he?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
The Eagles offense back out onto the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he comes back with one complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. First down for Philly. Wentz on target to Hollins.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Eagles into the red zone for the first time. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. This man was a Saint for 3 years. It's Darren Sproles. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Darren Sproles with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Throwing on first down is Breeze. Over the middle, it's Thomas. He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Breeze. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Wentz now on first down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
They will face a 2nd and 9 now following the penalty. Here's Sproles. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, here's Wentz. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Sproles. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up fourth down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
New Orleans.
They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And he'll get him a little space here up to the 5-yard line. The tackle was made by Michael Bennett.
Alvin Kamara really settling into the league in his second season. And, of course, he came out of Tennessee, but not a lot of people remember he started at Alabama.
He did and got caught in that big mix of running backs at Bama. And they like those bigger, thicker runners, those guys who can break down defenses through the middle. Alvin Kamara ended up leaving Alabama, going to a junior college for a while. I believe he went to Hutchinson Junior College before matriculating at Tennessee and finding his way to the NFL, where he is now a star.
Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards, first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Breeze now on first down. Setting up the receiver screen here to Thomas. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Shotgun now for Breeze. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Looking for Perriman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll start out on the ground with Sproles. Oh, and now Darren Sproles, the 40. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Play action to Sproles. Wentz. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Cameron Jordan in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. It's the Eagles with the early lead. We'll head back to New Orleans after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now it's Sproles. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, add that play to his resume, Real, because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Wentz, I think this is going to be a free play. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Big hold in the 30, and all the way up to the 33-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Breeze now on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Breeze now to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Nigel Bradham in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Third and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. David Bass in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. Sproles, the return. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. He has not had the start to this game that he envisions here in the second quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. 1 interception for him, no touchdown passes. On play action, Wentz. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, they'll get the yardage, but they hate to see him take that hit.
You're always trying to cool off a big-time guy throwing the ball, but you have to know when to back off, pull up, and not hit him. There's the penalty.
They'll run it with Sproles. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field, despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He has not had the game that he envisioned. His team has not had the game that they've envisioned here. So how do they turn this around now?
Well, right now what he's looking forward to doing is finding a way to get the added weight on his back. Is it like that monkey that Steve Young was talking about? Remember that in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the 95 Super Bowl.
Right, when they beat the Chargers. And, he had that weight of expectations and pass.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. So a pick-6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick-6 going the other way.
Elliott on for the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick-6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
A 10th carry for Kamara. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Brees now. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Here's Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. At Darren Sproles as he works his way back onto the field for this next go-around. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And they'll run it here. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he is going to have the 1st down as he's up to his own 13-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. In on the tackle, Alex Okafor.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the 1st down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fielded at about the 28. It's a 47-yard punt, but they did give up 10 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints coming out now to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, we know he's an electric runner. Earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to bottle him up at different levels. That was your suggestion. Some mixed results.
Yeah, certainly, because we have seen him bottled up at times. We've seen him play him very well. We've also seen him pop the cork a few times and get out of there, haven't we?
We have indeed. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. On the check down, he finds Kamara. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Ready. We're waiting.
Throwing now is Breeze. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Breeze going to throw. He's going to go up top for the end zone. 4th down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And Lutz puts this one through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Well, look at Darren Sproles as he works his way back onto the field for this next go-around. He's in his zone, 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
Hang in there.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Wentz to throw. And hauled in here by Richard Rodgers. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. A toss to the scat back. This is Darren Sproles. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. That's into the hands of Wallace over the middle. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Wentz going to try and throw on third. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. The Eagles send out their punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
They begin on the ground with Kamara, and he's going to be unable to get upfield as they take him down at the 21-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down, and you know what offenses want? Win 1st down, so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll start in the Motor City. Carolina paying a visit to Detroit. And in the late stages of the first half, it's the Lions who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, it's a once-again healthy Carson Wentz that's led the way in the first half. His guys have the lead on the road in the Big Easy as we get you back over to the Superdome and Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2.
Holding, receiving team.
That holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. But that field position after the return wasn't terrific. So now it's a great starting field position as well.
Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved. That'll go as a loss of 5. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Again, they'll run it. Again, it Sproles. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you get success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Working from the gun. Wentz. Hard throw. Incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
The Eagles send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Gets around him. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Ready, yellow lady. Ready, what's that?
Now Breeze throwing on second down. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Are you crediting your defense?
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Now Sproles. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out now come the Eagles. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Right back to him on first down. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Second down, here's an option right. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 8 on the keeper and a first down.
And that was a nice, strong run by the guy they call the field general.
On first down, Wentz. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. But he's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
They go play action here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Ready! Yellow lady!
Again, it's Kamara. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage, and that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They run it again with Kamara. Able to power through. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
False start, offense.
Not what you wanted there, 3rd and 2.
And this is something you've worked on in practice from the time you were in training camp, yet you still create your own mistakes.
And now movement again, and they'll march even further backward.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Now Breeze on 3rd down. That's complete to Meredith. And down inside the 15 he goes. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down. Again, this is Kamara. And he's brought down. Same result as last play, 14 yards and another 1st down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. From the gun, it's Breeze. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Breeze picked off by his former teammate, Malcolm Jenkins.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, 1st down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
A look at Darren Sproles as he works his way back onto the field for this next go-around. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. So after the INT, here's Wentz. Got his man there. It's Wallace complete. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Eagles in possession of the football and leading this one as we get ready to start the final quarter. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Eagles on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is third down and 12. From the gun, it's Wentz. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see, do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And his throw is going to be incomplete. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The Saints on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd down and 12.
Ready? You ready?
Shotgun now for Breeze. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been terrific so far. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Throwing on first is Wentz. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Open man left side is Wallace, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Wentz now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Wentz over the middle, complete. That's Wallace. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Wentz. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Wentz going to lead his guys up 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still 1st down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Now they try the right side here. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. And once again, they go with Sproles. Room here to... And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He is fully awake now. If he didn't get off to the start that he normally does, they've got his attention. He's running it well.
You think they set off the alarm clock at the half? You think that's what went down? I know this, having played on the defensive side of the ball, if you do a really good job against a great runner, and you go into the half, you're excited, you're fired up, you think the game plan is working, but in the back of your head is that little bit of nagging doubt. Can we do this for 4 quarters? So far, that's not happening.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Still firing. fighting. A big play. Breeze finding Thomas. 62 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Breeze again here on 2nd and 10. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Ready. We're waiting.
Again, it's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now Breeze, got to have this one. That is caught inside the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Ready. We're waiting.
They'll run it with Kamara, and he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Now that was a good job by the defense swarming to the football. And you know it's no cinch that you're going to be able to get the ball into the end zone against them. They're number 2 against the run. So what's an offensive coordinator to do? Check your playlist.
They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Ready. We're waiting.
To throw, it's Breeze. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Brandon Graham in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game. But boy, not getting that one that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. The drive will start with an option going left. Stepping up, he's going to keep it.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. Wentz now to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fielded at the 33. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. Elsewhere, they're on to the fourth quarter at MetLife Stadium. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A victory there would mean they're 6th on the year. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
To throw is Breeze. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Thomas. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
So they went 2 yards in the wrong direction on the last pass play, and now it's 3rd and 12. Here's Breeze. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Throwing now is Breeze. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Here's Breeze to throw. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
A good move on the carry, but still brought down just inside the 40. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Breeze now. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Eagles defense able to hold. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. Hard to call this guy a game manager, but that's really all he's needed to do. The running game, fantastic.
And they've actually put themselves in a spot where they're able to close the game out, doing what you would want to do in this situation anyway. Run the football. but they don't have to ramp up into it. They're already there. They've been establishing it the entire game.
Now they can keep that blitz coming, and down he goes. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. And they'll run it here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now they'll run it on the toss. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with just 70 seconds left to go in the game. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And with the clock ticking under 50 seconds now, he spikes it. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
Breeze now to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT. Elsewhere, Ford Field, they're into the 4th quarter now. And it was the Lions who emerged victorious in that one. Marvin Jones, he had a touchdown reception to help the cause. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Pretty move. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Breeze now on first down. And his throw is incomplete. They were trying to get the connection with a former Buckeye, Braxton Miller. And that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make it third down. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock.
Get that quarterback at all costs. Here we go.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
Ready? We waiting?
The Saints do snap it. It's Breeze. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Eagles are likely going to win it. Wentz with a kneel down, and that will be the final act of this game. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Eagles, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll return home next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.